ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's game number 1 in the finals. Cognitive Gaming North America going up against Snipe, and it is going to be a good one. We have some very, very different style of picks in this game. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams. Fighting out of the bottom of the minimap, the left side of your spectator UI and wearing the blue trunks, it is the reigning champions, Cognitive Gaming. 4 tournament series weeks, 4 tournament series victories for Cog NA. They have clinched a position in the LAN finals at the end of March, and we are underway in game number 1. They're going to be Barracuda and Dare to Care combining for the Apollo Odin dual lane. MLC Stealth in the mid is Ra, and in the jungle as Freya, and MLC's Omega is going to be your solo lane, Stone of Gaia, Rush, Vamana. On the other side of the map, wearing the red trunks and fighting on the right side of the Spectre UI, it's going to be Snipe Gaming coming off their victory over Team Dignitas and making their first appearance in the finals. Wolfie is going to be your solo laner as Hell. Nick in the mid lane as Aoguang. Xing in the jungle as Tyr. And Allied and Incon going to be combining for the duo lane, Shibalanke, Sun Wukong.
Yeah, very exciting lineups from both of these teams. I really like to see this. So Shin gets a lot of, whether it's for fun or not, Shin gets a lot of trash talk about how he can only play assassins and doesn't play those bruisers that are in the jungle, and he's on tier. Wolfie gets a lot of garbage talk about how he can only play Wukong and Guan and certain members of the God Pool, and he's playing Hell. So I like to see that, not only in the finals, but just from both of these members doing their thing, doing their own different thing that people might not be familiar with seeing on these players, not characters. So I love to see that departure from the norm, do different things. Although we know that Wolfie has a nasty Hell, as we just saw. So very interested to see what goes on down here.
Yeah, oh, look at this. Odin going for a pretty deep invade over here on the left side. Will not be able to secure it against Incon and Allied, and is going to pay for his treachery with about a quarter of his life as the Jingle Bang comes smacking down on top of his head. So the duo is going to be the Odin Apollo going up against Shibalanke and Sun Wukong. I think that I favor the Cog lineup just a little bit. The slow from Odin, he's also very, very tanky. Combined with the dot is going to be pretty good. In the right side here, Xing getting fairly low, but healed up by Wolfie as this continues to be a 2v2 on the right side.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to go the opposite direction, Bart. I really favor Xing in this matchup because not just because of the players, or at least for game 1, but because of the picks that they've chosen. Xing and Wolfie, if they get into an extended engagement, can just sustain themselves out of everything. Incon has the ability to just get out of wherever he is by pressing the eject button, which is his ultimate. And then you have Allied, who's probably Allied and Nick are equally squishy, but they both have escape mechanisms in their Rising Jaguar and Slither respectively. So we see Dare to Care get some poke out. He's going to pay for it. The Rising Jaguar comes out. Odin leaps up. The knockup comes up. The branching bolas are coming out from Allied. Does he have enough? The body blocks are good from Barracuda, but it's going to put both of them at about 20% HP or less. As Dare to Care is basically 3 basics away from death. So good defense from Barracuda, but forgetting that Allied's branching bola just prevents that screen from happening. So very interesting situation as Team Snipe is winning this already at 2 minutes in the long lane.
Yeah, the Guardian base stats of Dare to Care's Odin, they're saving his life. That little bit of extra HP as he ranks up, helping him out over the Bruiser, who comes in a little bit lower in terms of his HP scaling. So Odin, even though he's played in that warrior role, is technically speaking a Guardian.
Oh, wow. You always see him in the Bruiser role. Of course, I knew that, but it's one of those things that you just forget as you just get used to seeing it. But Freya's a mage, by the way. She's not an assassin.
Right, and Thor's an assassin, not a warrior.
You're allowed to forget that because that just changed as we see a little bit of poke going on in the solo lane. Omega's quite literally running circles around Wolfie, but not doing too much damage with that one ability that just dashes him out of everywhere. And it's just very interesting to see these two match up, as Vamana is going to have a lot of physical defense, which is his passive, and it's not going to do anything against Wolfie.
So, right side lane, the Vamana versus Hell matchup. Son of Gaia Rush coming out for Omega's Vamana. Wolfie should have quite the better of this lane for quite some time until Omega gets his items up and running and his levels, of course, as well. And then he can start to really put some pressure on the Hell, where she won't be able to really do too much to him, as he does quite well for himself with defensive items on that Vamana. Scales pretty well off just his base abilities alone.
Yeah, Vamana's one of these characters that the solo lane is virtually designed for. As we see Xing looking to get something done on Omega. Xing does not have Blink yet, so we're not going to see that crafty Blink 180 no-scope coming out just yet. But look ahead to that. Omega on Vamana is one of those characters that just, they like to sit in that solo lane because you just farm. You do damage with Vamana, don't get me wrong, early game, but once you get that Haste Talus and maybe a crit item, as Zalia likes to go, it just becomes way too much to deal with. So sitting in that solo lane allows him to get this passive farm as the banish goes off in the middle lane, but it's not much. We're just going to get some farm going on.
Yeah, a little bit of the jungle rotation there just to put the pressure on the left and right side. XP camp's going to be coming up here in the next 10 to 15 seconds. I think they were picked up on the respawns in the first go through here. So you see both the teams starting to position to contest them. Right side looks like it's going to be going the way of Snipe. They're going to give up left side to Cog. They don't want to fight just yet as the dual lane rotates over. That, of course, leaves Allied a little bit of time to farm. He's going to make a rotation over this way as well. Slowly but surely, just in case a fight does break out. There's going to be a banish from Stealth and, from Anister, and followed up by Stealth, but no Snipe coming through. They will force up the Wukong ultimate just like that, and that's going to force the retreat. So both teams going to fall back to their lane. Right side lane, actually, Omega a little bit low here. Could be a little trouble from Wolfie if Wolfie wants to dive this tower. No, the Black Sands 3 going to miss, so no further engagement necessary. Left side, Dare to Care, Anister, and Barracuda going to combine to steal the blue camp respawn, it looks like, from Snipe Gaming.
Yeah, they're just going to bully that. Allied saw everything that happened. He was thinking about getting his blue, and we saw him sit there kind of thinking about it. He saw Dare to Odin come through. Barracuda went the other way around, and Allied knew he had to just sit on that tower and relinquish the blue buff to Cognitive Gaming, as they just completely, like I said, they just boxed him out essentially. But they just brought 3 characters, and Allied knows, hey, I'm level 7, and even if I was level 20, it's 3 characters. I gotta go sit on my tower.
Yeah, absolutely. So, back to the point that I was making about Odin being a warrior versus a guardian. He is technically classified as a warrior now. It's true, but his base stats, if you look at the way he actually gets more health per level than Sobek. So, and more protections per level. So he's actually, he is technically speaking a warrior, but his base health and HP per level gain is more like that of a guardian. So sorry for that confusion there.
So what you're saying is
guardian stats, warrior classification.
So he's technically a warrior, but more so technically a guardian.
That's right. Technically, he is technically a guardian.
Well said. As we see a little more poke going on in the solo lane. Again, not going to be too consequential. It's going to force out the ultimate from Omega, as he doesn't want to go down to Xing just yet. Kind of walking around, letting that ultimate refill his health bar. What that does is it gives him passive HP 5, massive passive HP 5, and it extends for the longer he gets attacked. So you saw Xing just back off and not do anything, and Omega just rightfully so. Now he's sitting, the king is very sustaining, sitting right here at full HP.
So there is, the camp's being picked up yet again at the 6-minute respawn, and still no first blood. A little bit late into this game, but it's fairly understandable considering the gods that are in the roles that they are. Very, very passive farm lanes, with double warriors, I guess, as it would be. Odin not bringing a lot of gank potential really to the lane. Outside of his slow and his ring, but it doesn't synergize that well with Apollo, so you wouldn't expect too much action coming over there from Cog. The Shibalake Wukong, a little bit more gank potential, but it's scary having, the potential turnaround from Odin if he rings you in close to the tower. So that's going to prevent any diving, which, I think Shibalake is pretty good at diving towers as well with his 2-3 combination. Right side lane, of course, always very, very safe, and it's going to be Ra Alkwang in the mid, so both of them very passive farmers. So I guess it's not a big surprise to see no first blood yet.
Yeah, something interesting as we're starting. We're only at the 7-minute mark, so builds are very limited. We see that Doom Orb coming out from Wolfie. The Blink is finally on Xing, so we're gonna see some of those engagements that are already exciting. But Dare to Care is building Midas boots as we see the Dare to Care ring come out, immediately forcing the Incon ultimate. And that's just going to be 2 ultimates down. Nothing, no harm, no foul, as it just forces the disengage. But Dare to Care is building Midas boots, something we've seen a lot of the supports shy away from, whereas Incon is building those warrior tabbing, or probably going to go into the CDR boots. So very interesting to see, and I wonder how it's going to work out for him, as like I said, a lot of people are moving away from Midas boots because of gold spooling or multiple reasons, and Incon on that Wukong, where CDR is just so powerful, is going to go straight for the CDR boots.
So first blood did go the way of Cog Gaming. It was the Freya banish into the Raw Snipe, and then a Valkyrie's Discretion ultimate from Freya coming through to seal the deal. So definitely a lot of danger of that if you are the Alkwang. He's gone Beads 1. maybe Aegis the better pick there. Just kind of spam that on the way down from Banish. But, as we went over in a previous cast, after you're banished, you're actually taking damage on the way down. You're technically back in play while you're falling. So it's very, very hard to actually avoid that Raw Snipe if timed properly.
Yeah, that banish into Raw Snipe is one of the more dangerous and devastating combos in the game. As Cog is going to take this right heartbeat camp. Snipe's going to get there a little late. I think they knew that they were taking it and were going to relinquish it, but wanted to engage on them because they know that the Odin ring is down. But they just got there a little too late, Bart. As we see them pushing the lane, and Apollo left all by himself in that left lane. Barracuda just doing what he does best, getting some farm on.
Yeah, that's great news for them. I mean, they have made space for Barracuda, all the better for them. Cog trying to steal that blue buff again, this time not so much. Dare to Care leaping in, killing off the ward. Rotation is coming out from Nick even to secure this blue buff. They really don't want this experience in gold going the way of Cog this time. They want to secure that bad boy for Allied, let him spam those abilities. So it's going to lose a little bit of far on Nick in the mid lane. It's going to be soaked up by Xing. Stealth going to be able to push this wave into the tower. And you got to think that the action is going to be coming onto this mid lane. That's got to be where the next... Well, there it is. The snipe coming through on to Xing. Anistar going to get that banish off, but not going to use Valkyrie's Discretion this time. Shibalanka ultimate comes out, but doesn't trigger continued initiation from Snipe. So, all things told, it's still Cog's game. 1 kill up, 10 minutes in.
Yeah, just 1 kill on the board. We're looking at a 1,000 gold lead. Cognitive is playing this very passively, and Snipe is responding by playing equally as passively because they know they probably can't get aggressive, even though that's... If they get aggressive on the Freya, which would be my choice, as Freya Anistar is sitting with the only kill in the game, a little bit of pressure coming out on an Incon, not too much though, with 5,500 farm, and that's above that's 300 400 gold above what Xing has at the moment. If they just sit back, let Omega get his core build, as he just picked up rank 3 Heartseeker, so he's going to be picking up those stacks. Anistar just become late game Freya, which is late game Freya. Barracuda's always going to be Barracuda. So if they allow them to play passively and reach that point, watch out, Snipe. Cog's coming for your jugular.
Yeah, I think if it's a greedy game, like a greed race, it goes to Cog. They have Odin, who's going to do quite well into the later stages of the game as a damage dealer. A little bit better than Wukong, I think, in terms of in-hand potential. MLC Stealth. And towards the later games, they'll start falling off, but that's going to be right when Anistar, Omega, and Barracuda are ramping up. And a kind of tri-core style lineup here for them. They have 3 real main damage dealers versus the 2 over on Snipe, being Tier and Allied towards the super late game as physical damage dealers. Nick and Wolfie, I think, are basically, and maybe Alkwang a little bit better than Ra towards the later stages of the game. Tornado's really able to do some nasty things, especially... and I don't know if this is really Nick's general playstyle, but a Divine Ruin that we've seen a lot of in this tournament, in fact, would be a very nice pickup against the Odin and Vamana, both who rely heavily on HP 5.
Yep, and also, not for nothing, it'd also be good for dealing with that Ra heal. Almost everybody, even if you count Anistar's self-heal coming from his passive lifesteal on Freya, everybody on this team can heal with the exception of Dare to Care. But he's got a passive HP 5, so there's a lot of sustain on cognitive gaming. So somebody, whether it's a Beat Stick on Incon or it's a Divine Ruin on Nick, would definitely be a very good pickup for Snipe to go for. As the Cognitive's gold lead is going a little bit ahead. They're more than 1,000 gold ahead, and that distance between Dare to Care and Incon is growing. It's now at 400 gold differential as we see Xing come out with the blink, the fearless, the power cleave. Down comes the Ring of Odin. What's he gonna do? He's just gonna jump out and leave him there. But the flip comes out. Lawbringer comes out, and they want to run away because Anistar showed up. They don't want to deal with that. Bam goes a snipe from MLC Stealth, but it's not enough. They get Incon down very, very low, sitting on that somersault cloud, able to escape with the bird of 72 transformations. Lots of initiation, but Valkyrie's discretion at Anderson's discretion. Down goes Incon. Down goes the second kill of the game, both on Anistar.
Dare to Care just a little bit too tanky there. They're unable to convert that kill. Rings jumps out, and the rotations coming in from Cog are good. In fact, they're not done yet. Barracuda in the air. They want to find Xing or Nick here, and it's going to be Nick. They want to try to dive, but he needs to be careful. Xing could fearless him into the tower. At this point, Stealth trying to throw out his damage. A lot of bursts coming through. Here comes the Algog ultimate. Can they miss it? No, it's going to hit Barracuda. It's going to hit him hard as well. He's forced to sprint out of this fight. Rotation coming from Shivalake, but it's too late. Anistar into the tower. Picks up a kill on the tier. Now it's Nick. Ring around the rosy. Doesn't matter. Stealth picks him up. Allied comes in, but Allied may pay with his life as well. Dare to Care taking that. They're going to go deep. They have the heal. Down will fall 3 members of Snipe just like that.
And there goes that passive play, Bart, right out the window as Cognitive picks up 4 kills very, very quickly and turns their sights directly at the Gold Fury, like all good teams should. Incon, though, he smells it. He knows it. He's here. In comes the 72, and he just runs into danger. They reset the Gold Fury. Incon with the banish into the Snipe, gonna lose his life right here. The kill goes to Dare to Odin with the whirlwind. Oh my goodness, Wolfie actually gets that kill.
Wolfie
And that's a
with a double.
1-for-2 trade.
Yeah, Wolfie gets himself a double, get a little farm going on hell. He's going to lose his tier 1 on the right side, though. Anytime you can force that solo lane to rotate, it's a win for your team. Omega here is going to take this tower down, and that's going to be very, very nice for Snipe Gaming. I'm sorry, for Cognitive Gaming. That's going to turn their 2,500 lead into about a 4,000 gold lead, and they can contest the Gold Fury as well. In fact, you see Barracuda over here doing so. Caught a little bit by Xing, but it's going to force the reset at least. Looks like Snipe may be able to answer here now with this Gold Fury. I'm not sure that Cog can rally and stop this.
Yeah, Snipe absolutely 100% needs this Gold Fury, and they get it, thankfully, so that's definitely very, very good for them. It's going to cut that lead that Cognitive got on them just a little over 2K, and that Gold Fury is so important, not just for the numbers, but for the brain stems. Like, after getting decimated by that in 2 separate occasions, you need a win, Bart. You need something, and they successfully got that Gold Fury, and they feel like, as they should, feel back in this game.
But Cog made so much room for Omega. He takes a tower, he takes both the blue and the orange buff, and 2 full creep waves of experience, and now he's going to take his own blue buff, sitting at level 15, XP per minute through the charts, over 600 XP per minute, just a little bit ahead of Wolfie coming off of that double kill. So Omega does a great job of securing farm for himself, getting towards that Hasten Fatalis, and once he has that, as we all know, Vamana can really turn the corner and become a big-time, unpeelable damage dealer.
Yeah, definitely for sure. The gold lead is creeping up, and it's worth noting that the gold lead is going to be, you're going to see a gold schism because of the minus boots on Dare to Care, as we see another engagement. Xing taking so much damage from both Stealth and Anderson. Anderson going to take to the skies, and not enough to get Xing as he brings out the Lawbringer. Squall goes out on Andy. Now Andy's very slow. The Spirit Tempest is coming! Knocks up the wrong target as he hits the very tanky Odin. Anderson still in a lot of trouble, though. Barracuda jumps into the ring with Odin. Nobody's there, but they're looking for the kill on Wolfie. They're not going to get it as Hell just heals so much damage. Dare to Care swimming in that tornado, trying to force that initiation, but not able to pull it off. As Cognitive is so strong, but just not able to deal with those 2 abilities, Bart.
A nice play there. I mean, somehow Anderson managed to stay alive, which was ridiculous. Kiting around those Gold Furies on the right side. Dodges the Spirit's Tempest and dodges a lot of damage from Incontinentia. In fact, blowing up that decoy really, really quickly. Even with the Hell Heal, they couldn't push into that Odin with the Freya still there sitting at about half health. So very, very nice play coming out from Anderson individually there for Cognitive Gaming.
Yeah, Cognitive, Snipe, I mean, very good play from Cognitive Gaming, but, it's, you know, Snipe played great defense right there. Like, Xing took so much damage initially and got out of there, and everybody got out of there. So good defense from Snipe, but Cognitive, that's a shadow of what's to come. Their characters are going to get farmed up, and that situation is not going to go that way again. There's no way that Snipe can have that situation and get out of there successfully like they did when they had a Geb on their team. It's just not going to happen later in the game when Anninster is Anninster. By the way, he's on Freya. I mean, Anderson's just such a powerful player, and he's on a powerful god. Cognitive is if these are the types of initiations we're going to see from Cog and Snipe, the Snipe defense is not going to win in the long run.
Banish comes out on Incon. They're not going to follow that one up with the Raw Snipe, knowing that he does have that ultimate nearly off cooldown. Not quite just yet, but I don't think they have that on their timer, so know it as it comes off now, literally just a couple seconds off. Omega has had free reign, and one thing about this is that we haven't seen him engage into a fight just yet, but it looks like Snipe's going to try to pick him off. I'm not sure if they're going to have enough Big Baby coming out. Spirit Tempest doesn't look like it's going to be on target. He's going to be able to dodge it. It's going to hit 2 targets inside the ring, but Omega is going to live A-OK. Spirit Tempest used now. Oh, here comes Barracuda in the fight. It's going to be a big knockup. Actually going to only hit 1 there, trying to mez them out. This fight hasn't gone anywhere yet, except for there goes Stealth with the Snipe, blowing up tier. Down goes Dare to Care to Nick in the meantime. Incon up in the Somersault Cloud. Anderson getting torn through. Ally throwing in the Brassing Bolas. Very, very hard for Anderson to deal with. He dies in Somersault Cloud coming down, but just so tanky still is Cog Gaming. Omega in some trouble as he's hit by tornadoes, trying to duke it out with Incon. In comes Ally trying to find the damage that he can. Barracuda going to go down now to Ally with a superior damage. Incon kiting around MLC Stealth. They can't find each other, and down will go the Raw. What a fight by Snipe Gaming. Only Omega survives for Cog.
Absolutely beautiful play from Snipe. That looked like it was 100% in Cognitive's game. And it's worth saying it was only 4 kills, not 5. But MLC Omega was literally one basic attack away. So a very much needed 4-man wipe from Snipe to bring this back into a 3K differential in the goal as far as that's concerned. And man, Snipe is doing everything they can to stop Cognitive. I want to see more of this because that's the only thing that's going to prevent them from winning, that's going to help them win in the late game. These characters are too powerful, and Cognitive really needs to win this early, and Snipe really needs to win this early and mid-game for this to be successful. So as long as we see this type of defense and counter initiation coming from Snipe, we might see Cognitive drop their 3rd game in the path to 100K.
That Incontinentia and MLC stealth ring around the Rosie there was unbelievable. it was jukes, juking, jukers. I mean, it was insane. And Allied comes up big in that team fight, just crushes Barracuda, and that's huge that they're able to snipe him out of that, keep that Apollo damage out from the back lines. And Allied, really does a great job on that rotation. In fact, he's going to sit on 8,700 player damage, top on his team, but he's not anywhere near the top of the charts. 10K on Anister, 9,500 on MLC Stealth. So damage still going the way of Cog, and they are still up some gold and kills, even on the back of that fight. So, that just goes to indicate how far this game was getting out of control for the Snipe boys, as Dare to Care is going to get initiated on.
Yeah, Snipe's playing very aggressive now after that. They definitely have some soil in their boots. Barracuda comes right down on Xing, gets the damage and the knockup. Everybody's just going to delete him very quickly. Cognitive showing that it doesn't matter. They're still here ready to fight. Anderson's in the air, draining hell with those bombs. And there's the Snipe from MLC. Call him Wealth as he takes down so much damage and destroys Wolfie with the help of his teammates. We're now on the tower with the Odin ring out. 1, 2, 3 deaths. 4th death on Incon coming from Snipe. Nick knows that he just doesn't want any of this, and Cognitive Gaming shows that nobody can take the wind out of their sails as they take that 2nd tower in addition to 4 lives.
Yeah, it's going to be a Fire Giant on the back of those 4 deaths as well, and it finally came to fruition. We said they didn't have a tremendous amount of synergy with the Odin Ring until about this stage in the game. If you trap someone in there with the Vamana, that person is guaranteed to die. Odin can slow him down by 50% with Gungnir's Might, and Vamana can just river dance on them with that Hasten Fatalis, and did so to great effect. A wonderful snipe by MLC Stealth in that fight as well. And one thing I do want to point out is that his Divine Beams, his number 1, have been absolutely crushing people. They have no answer for the magic damage that he's putting out. He's hitting those beams for 300 to 400 now with the Focus Void Stone and Bank on Silent 2. And you see a Void Stone 1 just being started on Nick, the only true magical defensive item that's going to be on the board for Snipe. I think they've vastly overlooked the damage potential of this Ra.
For sure, and I mean, it's MLC Stealth on Ra, a character that he's extremely comfortable with, in a position that he's obviously extremely comfortable with. This isn't the end, but that play was definitely a pivotal talking point for the rest of the match. That Snipe had so much on their side as far as momentum is concerned. They got those 4 kills, and Cognitive comes out of the base saying, "We don't care. I love it. We're just going for it. We're going to force this initiation, and we're going to kill you all." So great play from Cognitive, really proving why they are King Cog.
Yeah, they no, this could be dangerous. I'm not sure if Snipe saw this rotation coming out, and Continentia's going to scout it for now, but it's Allied in a lot of trouble. He's going to be forced to, I think he's going to try to man-fight this, and it's not a bad call, as it's going to be pretty tough for him to get out of the situation, but now he's ringed in with Odin, and Incon's going to eat a full ultimate there from Anderster. They're going to keep him in the ring, at least for the moment. Down goes the decoy. They see him leap out to the right. The chase is on. In the meantime, you see Xing and Nick just, they're trying to do something to Omega there as he just wreaks havoc in their jungle. In fact, look at Omega. Look how confident they are. Look at his positioning. He's going to tower skip here and go between the tier 1 and tier 2 and say, you're not going to defend this one, guys.
Yeah, Omega's reached that point. He has the Heartseeker, which with 0 deaths is definitely full stack. He's got the left click Talus where he can just basic attack without losing any movement speed. And he's pushing. He's single-handedly shoving 4 members of Snipe onto their Phoenix while the rest of his team just takes their towers like it's absolutely free reign. And this is looking like a tower buffet for Cog. Cog is really proving, like I said it before and I just have to repeat myself, but this is the reason that they're King Cog. This is why they've only dropped 2 games in the entire series. Omega's a little out of position. Xing's going to come through and actually do some damage to him. You think he can get out of this part as he pops the big baby?
I think that they're 5-man running away from them. So the answer to that question is absolutely yes. The final tower going to go down there, and all of that, a lot of that is thanks to one of the more overlooked abilities in the game, which is Odin's instant cast AoE speed buff to a pretty significant amount of attack speed that it grants. Let's see if I can remember it here off the top. I'm going to go ahead and say that Odin's Shout gives 55% attack speed at max rank.
It is 55 at max rank for that Odin Shout, what it gives. So that attack speed coming out from Odin makes Barracuda, to say he's a Tommy gun is putting it lightly. He's more like a heavy machine gun you would get in Call of Duty. With the new crosshairs and the new patch, Barracuda's just playing Call of Duty at the moment as he's mowing people down with those basics. Very, very beautiful play coming out of there. And like I said, MLC Stealth is very much ahead. He could afford to go all damage, but he picks up rank 3 of MLC of Renewal. Like, I always like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Stealth loves this item, and it's great on Raw. I mean, it gives him back. If you don't know what this item does, guys, it gives you 10% of your maximum health and mana over the next 5 seconds anytime you get a kill or assist. It is affected by other healing items, so Rod of Asclepius will help that out, those types of things. But it's just such a good item. Physical protection going through the roof, and then he just has so much sustain. Snipe coming through is barely going to miss Shing. A little bit mistimed there by Stealth, but that's okay. They clear the wave, and honestly, that Raw Beam will come back up cooldown pretty quickly with the amount of cooldown reduction he stacked up. Mail Renewal, of course, also contributing to that fact, another important piece of that item. Frostbound Hammer coming up from Dare to Care. Gotta love that. Man, never see that item hardly ever in competitive play, and now it's going to be the ring, and this is going to be the fight. If this one goes heavily in favor of Cog, they're going to win it. Omega doing the river dance in there. Wolfie cannot peel him. They're trying to get away from the baby. Everyone is just so low now, but Omega forced out of the fight. Incon knows he can't chase him down. Nick is going to die to Anister here any second. No, Combat Blink forced out into the base. Went Barracuda to find his kill. Spirit Tempest coming through, not going to hit anybody. Now they're going to turn back for the Phoenix. MLC Stealth Snipe from the Raw, not going to find anybody either, but Omega did what he needed to do, force everybody off of the fight, and that led to the Phoenix. Now they're going to pile in on the Titan, and I'm not sure the Snipe can stop them moving back towards that other Phoenix. Swag as it's looking pretty dire here for Snipe. A great engagement there by Cog. The ring into Baby Ultimate made it very hard for them to stay in that fight at all.
Yeah, Cognitive is going to look. They're most likely. Never mind. They already got that Phoenix. They're going to do this push. They're gonna shade away from it. This is one of those 60-40 pushes. Could they get it? They might get it, but it also might wind up in a deicide. Let's just play it safe, farm up, because we know that we have an incredible lead right now. All they need is one more good engagement, and Cognitive is just gonna show everybody why they're so damn good, why they just can't be stopped. We see a surrender vote come out from Snipe. I don't know if it's gonna go through, Bart, but certainly feel like that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation that they put themselves in here. Fire Giant is still up. There's still the chance that they could win a fight there. Snipe really has to look to go all in there versus Cog. If they lose a fight at the Fire Giant, they definitely lose. Cog is going there, and Snipe somehow has to find a 4 or 5 man wipe, pick up the Fire Giant for their own, and take basically all the towers off the map to get back into this one. It's all going to come down to this. Fire Giant starting to fall really, really, really fast. That Odin buff is really doing no work for Anister there as Freya just tears through that thing. Down goes Fire Giant, and now this is where it's going to get very ugly for Snipe. Incon, you're going to go down before it gets into that Summer Cloud. Yeah, and there's the concede coming through. Game 1 goes the way of Cognitive Gaming.
Dominant Cognate. That's the story today in Game 1 of our best of 3 finals right here for the path to $100,000+ thanks to Poolside Skin. Absolutely crazy game. I loved how even it was, Bart. I loved how even we started off with, and then all of a sudden, like we predicted the Omega explosion, but Cognitive just exploded as a team. It was just all of a sudden, we feel like fight. Bam, you're dead. Bam, you're dead. And it happened after they got wiped, which is just an incredible feat. I love this team is just so strong. This team is so strong, Bart.
They are. Yeah, they've been very, very, very dominant, and here you see why. In previous games, it seemed like Wolfie's Hell was such a massive factor. In this game, it seems like he was basically just not doing anything. Even with the Doom Ward Rush, even though I bet if we look at the numbers, he even put up decent numbers here. Let's see, taking a look at Wolfie's Hell, he heals up to actually pretty low in the healing, 2,300. No Asclepius out and running for him. Tanks 14,000 damage and deals about 6K. So actually, his numbers were fairly low, but they kept him out of the fight so well. Vamana seemed to be